On. Yo, what's up, everybody? Glad to be back with the full cast. The last couple weeks we've been a little short-handed, but we got the full crew tonight, the full squad. So, squad is in the house. I got a lot to get into. We're going to get into some NBA draft. Our guest is running a little behind, so we'll see what's up with that. But we're gonna get started here. Like I said, we got draft. Right now, Sixers don't have a pick, but there's talk that they may buy a second-round pick. Plus, hearing some rumors that maybe Tobias Harris could possibly be traded, maybe even draft night. So we'll see what happens there. We got a red-hot Philadelphia Phillies team, winners of 13 out of 15. Great road trip. They were 6-1. Only downside is they can't make up any ground because everybody else in the division keeps winning, except for the crappy, shitty ass Mets. They're the only team that blows right now in the division. Well, them and the Nationals suck too. But the Marlins and the Braves are playing great ball. So we're gonna get into all that. Like I said, I got my full cast here. I got my man to my side here. I got my man Sean Killer Kilrain. What's up, dog? How you doing?
What's up, Saul? What's up, crew? Chilling.
Doing pretty good. Right below me, I got my man, Mr. 6 for 6, Diego the Hammer Bianchi. What's up, bro?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. And then right on the side of Diego, we got my man. Missed him the last couple weeks. I know he always brings the energy. My man Mike Fuji rocking the powder blue Phillies. The one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball right now. What's up, Mike? How you doing?
6 in a row. It's been a couple weeks. Like to wish everybody out there happy Juneteenth. Phillies coming off, big test this week. Braves, Mets. 6-game homestand. I'll be down there. NBA draft. Another about 6 weeks away to training camp. Let's get the party rocking. Kick it live. Let's go, Saul.
Hell yeah. All right. So look, by the way, I'm going to be down at that Phillies game tomorrow night too. So are you working tomorrow night?
I'll be there. I'll know what section I'm working tomorrow. So if anybody's down there, and I'll stop by.
Yeah, because my buddy Eric called me the other day. He's got 2 tickets. I think we're going to be like section 113. So I'll hit you up tomorrow and maybe see if I can stop by and say what's up.
First baseline, huh?
Is that what that is? I had no idea. He just said they were good seats. So
first between home and first, maybe close.
Yeah.
Actually, right, not far from the dugout, Phillies dugout.
Sweet. Well, I'll tell you what. Speaking of first base for the Phillies, and I want to get into the actual team on the field, but I don't know how legit this is, but a nice little rumor going around that the Phillies might be in play for the first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. What would you guys think of getting him?
He's a beast. My bad.
Acquisition.
All four. Got a nice power
Depends
back,
on Depends on what that price tag is, too. I mean, well, be a hell of an upgrade in that lineup, and can't take nothing away from Clemens. He's played a nice first base, filling in. So,
well, they just recalled Derek Hall.
Yeah, that's right.
And they designated Dalton Guthrie for assignment. But just like you guys said, you got some reliable bench players. You got Edmundo Sosa, Cody Clemens, like you said, Fuge. And Clemens, like you said, Diego. The lineup's pretty solid, man. Stott's hitting good. Castellanos is on point. JT, wow, what a series, man. Going 4 for 4. First time since 19 years since David Bell. So
yeah.
It's pretty good. So it's June too. So
the bats always come alive when the season starts. This is only the beginning. Wait till Wait till that humidity down CBP is rocking and kicking.
Yeah, got a comment
And
here.
we got a lot of
My man Mike Lauro, you could check him out on Thursday nights on the locker room. What's up, Mike?
So,
How you
Mike,
doing?
How you doing?
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, and it's really funny. I mean, like, what is it about this Phillies team? It's like, and Kyle Schwarber in particular. I mean, there's like no rhyme or reason why he should be so good in the leadoff position. But I mean, I'm sorry, but anybody that makes the argument to not bat him leadoff, like he's got to bat leadoff. I mean, there's no reason but for some reason
there's no
whether
argument.
it's June and leadoff, and the guy just starts performing. So I feel like he's got to stay exactly where he is in that lineup.
No doubt.
I feel like these homers for Schwarber come
Couldn't
early
agree
in the
more.
game too, like his first at bat. First time he sees the pitcher, the pitcher has no time to get in the rhythm, and then he hits one. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's why he's so good leading off.
7 homers this month.
Yeah, it sets the tone.
Yeah,
I'd rather set the tone than be behind the tone.
Right.
It really does. It's almost like, obviously a different sport, but it's almost like back in the day, like watching a Tyson fight. You know what I mean? Like Schwarber's like Tyson laying the haymaker first round. You know what I'm saying? Like you come out there like for instance, yesterday's game. Actually, I think he did it 2 or 3 times on this road trip. But yesterday's game in particular, I put it on. Watching the game, boom, bang, 1-0.
The one game he did it on the first pitch.
Yeah, right.
First pitch he saw. So
he's setting the
that's
tone.
his spot.
Games, like you said, guys. 1 in Arizona and 2 in Oakland. Believe it or not, the Friday and the Sunday game. But like you said, Diego, he set the tone. I mean, that's what it's all about. So, like you said, But yeah, definitely. I was one of those guys. You got to take him out of the leadoff. He proved me wrong, man. So keep on riding with that lineup and let's go.
There was a picture. I don't know if it was in the newspaper, but the kind of leader that he is, he ended up taking Taijuan Walker on the bench and was talking to him. I don't know what game it was, but you could just, all right, this is Harper's team. But, a guy like Schwarber that's been there, you could just see like his locker room leadership is, he's one that he's got a ring with the Cubs. So you could just see what kind of leader Kyle Schwarber is. Like, put me in the leadoff slot, like going back to the '93 Phillies. Like Dykstra set the tone back then. Schwarber's taking the same approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, to touch on what you were saying, it was actually the Sunday game a week ago. So it was 8 days ago. It was the game where Walker was pitching great against the Dodgers, and that was where Rob Thompson, kind of gave him a quick hook. I think it was like 84 pitches, and Walker was quite pissed off about it. And like you said, Schwarber's a big time leader, and you know what? To Thompson's credit. The other night, I believe it was, I think it was Friday night. Walker was pitching a great game, and Thompson left him out there a little bit longer. And I think Walker went like 8 innings Friday night or something like that.
Yeah, 8 innings.
I watched.
Yeah,
I want Walker's on fire in his last 5 starts.
Well, I'm going to take.
He is.
Like Lauro said a couple months ago. I know he said this not long ago that he has a friend that's a Mets fan that just said Taijuan Walker steps up his game in the middle of the season. So what's he, 6-3 now?
Yeah, he's on fire the last 5 starts.
And hey, the money, his 3-year contract's paying off now. So good call on that, Mike.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the pitching's really rounding into form. Well, not necessarily Aaron Nola, but the rest of the pitching. Although I will say, I'll be the first one to rip Aaron Nola because he drives me insane with, basically every time you get that guy a 3 or 4 nothing lead, he's going to have that one implosion inning and give it up. But even though he did that last week, he actually did settle down and pitch good after that. So I will give him a little bit of credit for that. But you look at Suarez is pitching really well. Wheeler's been pretty good. Other than the start in Washington, like 2 or 3 starts ago, Wheeler's been pitching well. Suarez has been pitching well. Walker's been on fire. The number one problem they've had is the 5th spot, but Christopher Sanchez gave them a nice outing the other day, so hopefully they can keep this up. I mean, let's look ahead to this week. I mean, this week you got, like I was saying, unfortunately, for as good as the Phillies are playing, they can't make up any ground in Atlanta because Atlanta's red hot too. But you got Atlanta coming in here for the next for 3, and then you got the Mets, who are really struggling, but the Mets have had our number. I mean, they've been like our bugaboo the last couple of years. So this week is pretty important. You figure we got 6 games at home. What's your guys' impression on this week? I mean, should we be disappointed with 2 home series? Should we be disappointed if we don't go at least 4-2? Diego, what do you think to start? I mean, or because Atlanta's coming in as, if we just hold the fort and go 3-3, are we all right with that?
Nah, I think you got to get 2 from Atlanta here and get 2 from the Mets. I would be disappointed if we didn't go 4-2. The way we're playing, you know what I mean? So I feel we got to get 2 from Atlanta. Win that series. We won the last 5 series, right?
Something like that. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, I think if nothing else, you want to show you can take 2 or 3 from Atlanta, to set that up in case we got to see them again in the playoffs like last year.
Exactly.
And then the Mets in particular. I mean, the Mets series, I think, is extremely important for a number of reasons. I mean, one, you kind of want to. We're starting to establish a little bit of distance between us and the Mets, but you really want to kick them while they're down, and also if they beat our ass so many times the last couple years. I mean, if the Mets come here for as bad as they're playing and take 2 or 3 from us again, then it's really going to get in our guys' heads. Like, damn, we can't beat these guys.
Right.
Well, you're right. I mean, you got to take 4 or 2. You got to,
you got to get on them early.
These are probably your 2 biggest division rivals by far, no doubt. And I don't really want to sound like pessimistic here, but I think I'm on point with this, but I think the last time, it seems like when the Phillies have won 6 in a row a couple times this year, they end up losing that 7th. They can't get that 7th in a row, but hopefully, that'll change starting tomorrow night. And, people writing the Phillies off, can they catch Atlanta shorty? I mean, you're not even at the midway point. And, you're just about the end of June, and, the trade deadline's 5 weeks away. And really, besides, maybe a first baseman and needing a 5th starter, I mean, there's not many teams that are out there that are out of the race already. So everybody's, jockeying for position, especially now with the division. What are you up? What are you, about 3.5 games up on the Mets right now? So
right.
How many games are at first place? 7?
Something.
I'll look it up. Sean, what's your perspective?
They got to go 4-2. Just like Diego's. You got to prove a point. Put your foot on their throat. Don't let up. Make a statement early, not rather than later. And I think they can do it because they haven't really struggled, man, except for like the pitching's iffy. But the bats are hot. Back with the kid, Pachier coming back. He's got some good speed in the center field position. You got Marsh. He's iffy. That's the only thing. But other than that, they're playing great ball.
Yeah.
But
so,
like you said, first and foremost, the Mets is important to win that series. But go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, I have the standings here. we're 8 behind Atlanta. Like we're 8. Phillies are 8-2 in the last 10, but unfortunately, so were the Braves. So we haven't made any ground. And we're 3 behind the Marlins. The Marlins are 7-3 in their last 10. So we only made up 1 on the Marlins. But I did see something where the Marlins have had one of the easiest schedules in Major League Baseball so far, and the Phillies have it's been like the 9th hardest. So, let's see as the maybe that'll start kind of balancing out a little bit, and the Phillies could make up these 3 games on the Marlins. Although, I'll tell you one thing, just looking at these standings, I'll tell you a team that's really intriguing in the National League. And I think I don't know if you guys saw this. I saw it on Twitter yesterday with that Ellie De La Cruz, the Cincinnati Reds. Cincinnati Reds are 8-2. They're 8-2. Yeah, 8-2 in their last 10. They're only a half game out of the Central, and I mean, boy, they got young talent coming out their balls, man. I mean, it's unreal. They got young talent coming from everywhere.
It's just a shame, in the grand scheme of things. It's these small market teams can't even keep their guys. That's just baseball, though.
Yeah, but all their young guys though were literally just starting out. So, like, to be honest with you, like this, it wouldn't shock me. The Central's not that strong. It wouldn't shock me if the Reds actually possibly won that division if those kids continue to play so well. They're ahead of schedule, kind of in the National League, kind of like how the Orioles are in the American League. You got two good young teams that are.
Aren't the Orioles in second right now?
They are, but any other division I think they'd be in first just about.
Right.
Like they're 44-27. The Rangers are first in the West, 44-27, and then in the National League, you got they'd be like right there with the Braves. So I mean the Orioles are right there, But all right, so we're all hoping for at least 4-2. I'm on board with you guys. I'm hoping for 4-2. I don't. I'm not looking for moral victories. These are division games. You got to get these. We're 4.5 up on the Mets right now. So by the time we're doing this show next week, I would like to be at least 6 up on the Mets and really get some separation between us and them. And we're 8 back of Atlanta. To be honest with you guys, I know there's a lot of Fuge, I know you said there's a lot of baseball left. I do agree with you, but I think Atlanta is the class of the division, and I'm okay. I'm okay with them winning the division, bro. Like ever since baseball got this 3rd wild card, right. I mean, I said this on the extra innings show last week. I would be really happy and totally good with the Phillies getting the 6th seed again. Just give me the 6th seed, and I'll take on whoever wins the NL Central. Even if if it's a young team like the Reds, maybe they're not ready to win. If it's a team like the Pirates or the Brewers, I feel like the Phillies could go there and beat them 2 out of 3 on their field, and then let's rock.
Can we get a 5th starter? Maybe is Andrew Painter anywhere close to being ready to go?
I heard on
he was sick.
I heard on the radio they were saying possibly that he may be ready to come. He may be ready to rock around August 1st, which if you think about it, that's right around the time the trade deadline is. And, if he's really good, you imagine if it's funny, him being hurt because, like sometimes they have like innings, what do you call it? They have like innings restrictions on some of these young guys.
Right.
So wouldn't it be ironic if him being hurt in the beginning of the year actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because then he's full bore August, September, October?
Right. Yeah.
You figure
he's got a flush arm. Yeah.
You figure it'd be an August, September call up anyway, really.
Right. Kind of like, do you guys remember 2008 Tampa Bay with David Price? Remember Tampa Bay called David Price up? Yeah. Maybe Andrew Painter could be our David Price,
That'd be sweet.
It would. Just hopefully we win the World Series this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, getting there is cool, but we want the parade.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Sean?
How about Alvarado, man? Alvarado's been a blessing too, man. Him, pitching wise. It's a shame with Strand, man. Every time he comes in, he always leads off with a dinger. But
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I mean, before
But I think-
Dominguez got hurt, I mean, you could see why he was getting knocked around. I mean, with his, with the injury now, that just explains it. I mean, seemed like
what are your
he's just been
thoughts
like
on Sosa?
Edmundo
What are your
Sosa.
thoughts on Soda? Soda.
Oh, Soto. I like.
I thought you said Sosa.
What are your thoughts on
I
him?
like Soda.
So do I.
Okay. Yeah,
Considering he gave up Veerling and Nick Maton, but you got
Time. Yeah.
Clemens and Sosa in that trade, so it kind of like balances out, I think.
Yeah.
That turned out to be a really good trade, and it's funny because when they make and I like Soda too, but it's funny when they made that trade. Clemens was kind of like an afterthought. You weren't even thinking about Clemens, and you kind of just like, for me, I kind of just looked at his last name and I was like, oh well, I was like, well, shit, he came from Roger Clemens. Maybe he's got maybe he'll come on. He's got a good bloodline. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
He's Roger Clemens' son.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
Roger Clemens' son.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know that.
Actually, Clemens was Clemens in Philly.
He was, yeah.
Yes.
So I
as a
think
matter
he
of
was
fact, the
being
Dodgers
interviewed.
series. The
He
Dodgers
was being
series.
interviewed
Yeah.
last week in the booth. That's
I like the bloodline thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually if you got like your blood, you're an athletic in your blood. Makes for a pretty nice player.
That's big shoes to fill coming off that name, though.
Yeah, but if that was a pitcher,
Well-
he's a hitter.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like,
He pitched too, as a matter of fact. That's why you seen him pitching, like, I guess, what do they call that? Like a throw-in player to pitch when we were getting our asses whipped.
like an emergency
He pitched
pitcher
Yeah, he pitched.
last
he pitched
week.
a little bit of Texas, and they said he threw 99, but
Oh.
that wasn't
See
his
where he gets it from.
primary position. Yeah,
Pre PEDs of Clemens.
Ha. Major Spencer, what's up, fellas? Tuesday through Thursday, we are enemies. On Friday, we're cool again. Yeah. Yeah, he's a brave.
Still mad about that playoff loss last year. I see.
Little salty.
yeah.
So
Take that
all
shot
right,
elsewhere, buddy. But yeah,
yeah, mock the chop,
yeah.
So all right,
Should be a good
well,
series.
yeah. So big week ahead. Like we said, we got some other things to get into. We got Sixers. Well, first off, I want to touch on this NBA. I want to touch on the NBA next. But
Bradley Beal to the Suns.
yeah, before we do, let me give a shout out to our sponsors real quick. Anybody out there that has some legal problems, call my man, Attorney Big Al, Jason Fine, aka Attorney Big Al. You got motor vehicle injuries, slip and fall, workers' compensation, personal injury claims. You call Jason 24/7 directly at 267-962-4895 or Miko Spencer at 267-303-7324. Free consultation. He's got 3 different offices, so make sure you check that out. Here's something that's near and dear to our man Ken Fry, the host of the Batcave. All this stuff's for a good cause. You got not your average Janes. They were formed late in the summer of 2019. The home base is Cressona, Pennsylvania. So make sure you check them out. Anybody out there that's a coffee fan, coffee drinker, make sure you check out Monkey's Cult Coffee. You could use the promo code OOTB Sports at monkeycultcoffee.com at the checkout. The owner, Matt, donates 10% of each sale to the National Pediatric Foundation at nationalpcf.org. So make sure you definitely check that out, because not only is it not only do they have great coffee, but like I said, it's for a good cause. Here's the schedule here for the lineups. As you can see, no joystick junkies this week or Big Blue Power Hour, but everything else is on here. And there was a new show that debuted on Friday night called The Atomic Drop. And then, any wrestling fans out there, make sure you check them out. And I got one more here. The Sully Squad is. Hang on a second here. I don't know what I did with it, guys. Just give me a second. We are proud to announce that Philly Sports Trips is now a sponsor of ours. Here we go. Philly Sports Trips. Anybody out there that wants to do an Eagles trip, Mike, you can. Well, Mike Fuji and I are going to this Washington trip in particular, October 29th. But Mike, you can probably expand on this a little bit more because you've done some of these trips. How great are these trips?
Well, Vince Rizzuto is the best in the business. He'll take care of you. Everything, flight, hotel, game ticket, amazing tailgate. I did the Washington trip with Vince last year. I believe we had about 11 buses. I know he wants to break that record this year. Great tailgate, E-Rock. Some other, Philly sports guy, Jamie, he'll be there. He's doing all these trips, Kansas City, Seattle, Vegas, not Vegas, Rams, plus the baseball trips. I mean, Vince takes care of everybody, him and, his crew just do an amazing job. I mean, you got some other Philly trips around, but Vince is the best in the business. Great guy, very amazing, very personal. I've done some business with Vince, a little over just about 2 years. So can't go wrong with Philly sports trips. Check it out now. They got some Phillies trips coming up. Chicago, Pittsburgh, a few others. So check everything out at phillysportstrips.com. Probably sometime in July we'll be having Vince on to talk more about his Philly sports trips and everything else. So check them out.
Yeah, nice. And not only are we doing the Washington one, but we're doing Eagles Jets too.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm not doing the bus on that one, but we'll probably do the tailgate. So either way, it's great. You know what I mean?
I know the trips are selling out fast. Kansas City, the Phillies trips have been selling out fast. So
Mike Laura. Well, Mike, nice. I was gonna say, well, Mike, we're doing Washington. We'll be doing Washington,
actually,
bro.
Actually, Mike did. Actually, I did meet Mike last year on Washington. That was a hell of a time. So everybody, check out Philly Sports Trips. You won't be disappointed. You'll be going back year after year.
Yeah. So all right. So let's get into this. This NBA. A lot of stuff's going on in the NBA now. We got the draft coming up on Thursday, and our Sixers. I mean, what a difference from the process. I mean, I can remember waiting the whole year for the draft night, and now we don't even have a pick. But
that's why it's hard to get excited for. How do you get excited for a draft if you don't have a pick in?
Well, so yeah. I'm excited for it. I'm not excited for it because you're right, because we don't have a pick. But I have a feeling that there may be some big moves that night. You could see like remember a few years ago, Morey traded Al Horford draft night. So, maybe Tobias gets moved.
I would say that's the only guy, Tobias. Tobias going or what?
What?
With this new CBA, you know what I mean? With this new CBA, teams are going to want to get rid of some of their high paid role players, so the Sixers kind of have to weigh it out. What's better? Is it better to keep Tobias for this year and then save that $38 million, or is it better to cash in on Tobias and get two to three solid contributors as opposed to just Tobias? You know what I mean?
I just seen something said. I don't know how real this is, but it was on the internet. It said NBA Insider says Tobias Harris won't be on the roster by the end of the summer.
Well, I was listening.
Yeah.
Not to cut everybody off, I was listening to Joe DeCamera, the morning show on 94, and they had Kyle Neubeck, and he said more than likely he predicts Tobias Harris to be traded and that money dumped away. And he said, Daryl Morey could be, in the past, has been very active on draft night. So, maybe he's got a couple aces up his sleeves that could make some moves and shake up this roster.
Well, and here's I want to get into Bradley Beal. So Miko Spencer with a comment here. He says Bradley's contract this year, $46 million. Then it goes up to each year, $50 million, 53 million, and $56 million. It's insane. I actually agree with that, and it's funny because
he's the only player in the NBA that has a no trade clause in his contract.
Right.
So the Suns are stuck with him at least till the end of his contract.
Oh, absolutely. It's
so
true. Yeah.
So we were talking, like Diego, like we were talking about it today, obviously, and you look at the Suns on paper, right, and you look and you go, wow, KD, Ayton, Devin Booker, Beal, and it looks great on paper.
And that's it. They don't have another player signed besides Cameron Payne.
That's what I'm saying. It looks great on paper. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm calling it right now. I think these moves. This move, I think the Suns, it's going to be disastrous. I can already see. You can see the last like 3 or 4 years. KD has been breaking down. I mean, KD is unbelievable, but you're lucky to get 50-some games out of him. Bradley Beal's been breaking down. Bradley Beal's only been playing like 50-some games a year. Now, you made a great point, Diego, where you said, yeah, but he's playing in Washington, so he's probably like, yo, this blows here.
Yeah,
so,
right.
I mean, I get
100%. He's not going to give you 100.
Well,
right.
Thing of it is, can Frank Vogel handle all these, superstars here and mesh them all together?
Well, he did it. He did it in LA in the bubble.
Right.
True.
I think.
Listen, the team, if they play, they're good.
Yeah.
If they play,
if they stay healthy,
and it also depends. Like I just said, they only got 5 guys under contract. Who are they going to round out the rest of their team with, and what kind of money do they even have to round the rest of their team with?
True.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Yeah.
I see DeAndre Guyton gone. He'll be traded, I think.
Who?
Ayton.
DeAndre Guyton, Ayton, whatever.
Oh, Ayton. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Ayton.
I think DeAndre Guyton is a wide receiver for the San Diego Chargers.
I'm going old school. My bad. That's not till Wednesday. That's my bad. Damn.
All right. No, it's cool. Yes, and the one thing about the new CBA. It's I don't know all the particulars because you know how the NBA is, man. It's like you got to be a lawyer to figure out all the shit. But basically, it's a lot of these like mid-level exceptions, like a lot of this stuff for these high teams that are way over the salary cap, they're not going to be able to do the shit they used to do. So I don't know, but you know what you'll see though? You'll see the guys that are on their very last leg
taking a cheat.
Signing for like $1 million a year just to ring chase,
Yeah.
Here's Miko Spencer here. Their starting 5 is Beal, $46 million, KD, $44 million, Booker, $33, 8 and 28. Not bad for a first round or second round exit. Yeah.
I feel like if that team's healthy, like if they go into the playoffs, everybody's healthy. I'd say Western Conference Championship, but they got a ceiling of Western Finals. They got the ceiling of Finals, but they also have a floor of a first round exit because Beal's hurt or KD's hurt.
You know what's funny though? As good as they are, though, I still could see Denver beating them.
That's why I said the ceiling is a Finals. I would take a healthy Nuggets team over a healthy Suns team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Especially after they won now. Next year's going to be even, after you get that first championship off you, I feel like it just comes easier. They're over the hump. The challenge has already been done.
You're hungry, but you're not hungrier. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, but sometimes, you win one, you won another.
Yeah, basketball, you kind of figure it out. Once you figure out how to win, you can kind of use that same formula to keep winning. Michael Jordan did it.
That's kind of true because, I mean, if you look at the NBA, you could go all the way back. You could go all the way back to the '80s, and the '80s. You had Lakers. Lakers won what, 4 or 5. Celtics won 3. You know, you had
Pistons.
Detroit won 2. The 90s, the Bulls had 2 3-peats.
Yeah.
Then you had Houston with a repeat, and then 2000 you had San Antonio.
Yeah, it always the championships in the NBA come in bunches. You know, if you figure out how to win, other teams are trying to scramble to put teams together to try to beat you and make moves, and you just reel 2 or 3 off because once you like master your craft and everyone else is trying to figure it out, you win games. It's kind of inevitable in the NBA.
And Detroit went back to back in the 80s.
They did. The bad boys won. The bad boys won 88, 89. 88-89 season, and then they won 89-90. And you know what? To this day, I think the bad boys would have won 3 in a row if Isaiah Thomas didn't roll his ankle in Game 6 against the Lakers in '88. They would have won in '88.
He did play through it though, didn't he?
What's that?
He did.
He played through it though.
He wasn't that player. Yeah, he
played.
He was
he played through
player,
it.
You know what I'm saying?
He played through it, and he was
But
unreal.
He wasn't 100%.
He had like 25 points like in one quarter, and he played through it. But the problem was though, then they wound up losing by like a point or 2 in Game 6, and then Game 7 they barely lost. And I think if you had a healthy Isaiah, they would have won that, John.
Yeah.
But then again, the next year they played the Lakers, and Magic and Byron Scott both got hurt. So hey, you know. So who's to say the Lakers? You know what I mean? Lakers might have given them a series the next year. So who knows?
Right.
Those are the breaks sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So all right. Yes. All right. So Beal going to Phoenix is the big story. There's a lot of. What do you guys think of like the Zion Williamson rumors that are going on? Is there? Do you think there's any truth to that, or you think that's just smoke being? That's just the usual bullshit that gets brought up around draft night, because you always hear stuff around draft night. Like I remember the year we drafted Maxey like 3 years ago almost. I remember people were reporting that like we were on the verge of getting Zach LaVine, and then you looked into it and it's like they were never even close to getting Zach LaVine. You know what I mean?
I think I usually when it comes to moving stars in the NBA, I feel like it's usually a lot of just smoke. But Zion has been such unreliable for that organization, and he's going to get paid. He's already getting paid a lot of money. He's going to probably get paid again after this contract. Do you just move on from that? Call your losses, try to get that 3rd pick, get Scoot Henderson or something like that?
I would if I'm New Orleans, I've had my fill of Zion Williamson, because like, you know, like what's the point of having great talent if you never can? The most important ability is availability.
Exactly.
If I'm a Pelicans fan, I'm watching this fat load sitting there on the sidelines, and I'm like, what the hell's going? I mean, this dude sucks. You know what I mean? Like if I was a Pelicans fan, I would be so sick of his bullshit. I'd be like, I'd get anybody.
Yeah.
Get rid of this guy right now because he's a piece of shit and he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but I mean, with all the baggage, I mean, I'm sure somebody will take it on, but you know,
I'll take him.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say I'm talking all that shit, saying he's like a piece of shit and he don't work or nothing. Let me tell you something though. I take him in Philly right now. Like, I mean, like if they could, I mean, they won't do it though because he's got more value than that. But if they were like, hey, give us Tobias Harrison like a 20-30 pick and a couple pick swaps, I'd be like, okay, no problem. Because he does have a great talent.
Oh yeah,
He's another one. He's another one. Just like I said about Beal, he plays in New Orleans. He's just like, I'm gonna get paid not to do shit here. New Orleans.
And he has a little off the court thing too going on with him. But that's besides.
I feel like people like when you play for New Orleans, people forget about you a little bit. But you're not gonna be you're not gonna be able to get away with that playing in LA, in New York, in Philly, in all these big markets. You're gonna get destroyed day in, day. You know what I'm saying? It changes the game when you go to a big organization where the expectations are higher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I just thought of it. I just thought of an out of the box team for Zion Williamson. So, like, you look at the Chicago Bulls, right? Like, they're like stuck in purgatory. You got what? You got Zach LaVine, you got DeMar DeRozan, and there's talk that maybe they may be looking into moving like Zach LaVine. Like, I wonder if New Orleans would have any interest in maybe like if the Bulls put together a package with like of either trade like a three-way deal where maybe they would trade like a LaVine to somewhere and then some moving parts go to New Orleans and they take a shot on like a Zion Williamson. Because like if you think about it, like if you're a Zion Williamson, I mean, what better place to go than like a big market like Chicago that's been kind of like stuck in the mud for all these years? I mean, you could actually go there and really make a name for yourself.
Resurrect that franchise, or at least try to.
Now, the thing is with the Pelicans, they had a pretty nice team last year. They got to the play-in. They got pretty nice pieces over there. Ingram's going to be a year older. If they can get Zion to play, that team's not bad.
No, they're not bad at all. They have a lot of talent in that team.
Yeah, they got Duke Alvarado. They got a bunch of good players over there. Trey Murphy, good 3-point shooter. Brandon Ingram. Like, they got a nice squad over there. It's just, can they get Zion to play for them? And if they don't feel like they can, if I'm the New Orleans Pelicans, I'm moving on from them.
Yeah, you have to.
Because if you add the kids, if you could somehow get that third pick and take Scoot Henderson, that kid already played in the G League this year, he might be able to be ready to make an impact rail to rip.
You don't think Charlotte takes? You don't think Charlotte takes him number 2? I mean, if I'm Charlotte, I'm taking him and I'm pairing him with LaMelo Ball.
So who are the top three guys? Wembanyama, Scoot,
and then they got
the other guy,
the kid from Alabama,
Brandon
Miller.
I'd rather have Scoot. I'd rather go Scoot, man. I'd rather go Scoot. If I'm picking, I'm going Scoot.
Man, Miller was nice though.
Huh?
Miller's nice.
Yeah. I feel you, but
Alabama.
I feel you, but if I'm Charlotte though, a backcourt of LaMelo Ball and Scoot sounds kind of good to me.
It does.
That's a nice backcourt,
Yeah, but don't you want to kind of pair a bigger guy with Melo? Melo's great at getting to the rim, kicking out, assisting, throwing lobs to the rim. Get a nice, big, athletic guy for him.
Yeah, but I mean, well, maybe. I mean, to me, I feel like if you're picking top 2 or 3 in the draft, I feel like you can't afford to go looking for fit. I think you just got to go.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's true. To me, Scoot would be the number. If Wembanyama wasn't in this draft, Scoot would easily.
He'd be one.
He'd be one.
Yeah.
What do you think
How
of
about
this?
Draymond Green opting to become a free agent?
So let me just get to this comment real quick because I want to touch on Draymond Green too. Miko Spencer says the Lakers are rumored to be putting packages for Dame or Trae Young, only keeping LeBron and Davis. All others are tradable. Well, who the hell are they trading that? Right. That's the thing. That's what pisses me off about the Lakers. You always hear nothing against Miko because he's just saying what he read, but like they always do that shit. You read
it's always
you read all these reports about the Lakers, and it's them giving up like a pile of dog shit and getting like star players.
Yeah.
Sloppy seconds.
It's yeah, you know what I mean. Miko Spencer here. He's touching on Scoot. He says Scoot from the G League. Ignite is nasty. He could be the steal of the draft. Zion, when healthy, averages 28, 6, and 5. This must be New York or any big market would kill Zion. They wanted Randall out after his no-show playoffs.
That's what I mean. But sometimes a player like Zion needs something like that. He feels the pressure of the fan base, and he's showing up every night and he starts playing through shit. You know what I'm saying?
Isn't Zion from New York, I believe?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
He wanted to. Go ahead, Joey.
No. Go ahead.
At one point, he wanted to go to New York, but I think that a trade or something fell through. I think not last year, but the following year, right?
No, you know what it was? New York tanked to get him.
Yeah.
And what happened was. What happened was.
They lost the lottery.
New York wound up third, and they wound up with what's his face?
RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett, yeah.
Okay.
So here's a rumor that I've been hearing. Here's a rumor. I don't know. again, it's probably bullshit because it's around the draft. But you mentioned Draymond Green, and I was reading where there's people out there that are speculating that Draymond and LeBron are going to go to Dallas and team up with Luka and Kyrie. I don't even know if that's possible. Salary cap wise.
No way.
There was.
I think it's probably bullshit.
I did hear that.
I think it's bullshit too. But you mentioned Draymond Green, and I was just saying it was just something I read.
I'm buying a unicorn this week.
I think it's bullshit too. But I just figured.
But the thing of it is, would LeBron even want to play with Kyrie? I don't think there's any way. After her days in Cleveland.
True. Well, that's a very good question.
Kyrie's just a cancer.
And
he's already proved it in Boston and Brooklyn.
I'll take Kyrie over Harden.
You brought up a good point, Diego. The record was awesome, Dallas, and then when Kyrie came, they shit the bed because weren't they?
Down the stretch.
They did. I also feel like they had no time to figure out how to play Luka and Kyrie at the same exact time.
Yeah.
And sometimes the fit just isn't great. Luka's very ball dominant. If you watch Luka play, that's a hard player to play with.
Yeah.
Yes, he passes the ball, but everything runs through Luka Doncic. That's why he's an MVP player, but Dallas struggled this year.
Yeah.
So,
hell of a talent, but like you said, hard to play with. You're right. Yeah.
It seems like it's a little hard to play with.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? You just mentioned that. I actually think the fit of that team would be terrible because, like you said, LeBron needs the ball all the time. Kyrie needs the ball a lot. Luka needs the ball, and even Draymond in Golden State.
Yeah, he needs the ball.
So you basically would have you'd have four motherfuckers out there that need the ball all the time. There's only one basketball.
100%. Luka's got to play I feel like Luka's his talent's the kind of player. He's got to play free. You got to fit a right team around him. You don't need 3 other superstars. You got to put a decent team around him. He makes guys around him better. Guys are just there to do a role and then just play through Luka. That's their best chance. But that's why I feel like him and Kyrie didn't really work together. Kyrie's not a spot-up shooter.
They were very well with Brunson. Wouldn't you agree? I think so.
But Brunson came off the bench.
Exactly.
Brunson came off the bench and kind of replaced Luka. He had a different role on that team. Kyrie's role was you play next to Luka every single minute, figure it out.
Yeah.
You just made me think of something. Do you think Luka is a taller, better shooter, better shooting version of AI in a way? And what I
do. I kind of do. Yeah, high volume shooter.
Yeah,
he passes the ball when guys are open, and the defense crashes it on him. He got no choice, but
he could shoot.
I would agree with that, Joe.
Yeah,
I agree. That's what's funny that you really made a great point because I never thought of that because let's be honest, Luka's a 6'6" white dude, right? That shoots, so a lot of times you compare Luka to maybe I see Luka, maybe you think of more like a Steve Nash or even like a Bird, maybe a more athletic like Bird, you know what I mean? And Iverson's 6 foot, 5'11", skinny as fuck, driving the lane. So when I visually, I don't really think to compare them, but stylistically, I think you're 100% on point.
They're very close players. Like I said, a lot of shots. Ball is consistently in his hand. I watched the Mavericks play. He's never off ball.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it reminds me of. Yeah. Iverson, high volume shooter, high player. Everything runs through him, and then help him out defensively on the boards. That's what he needs help with.
So I was mentioning when I did extra innings last week, Diego, I was mentioning how because Miko Spencer was on there commenting too. I was saying, I really want to get that debate show going, and also like an old school, new school. Yeah. And now that we just mentioned this Iverson Luka thing, I think that would actually be a really great topic, possibly of bringing up guys hey, what are some of
Comparable
these
players?
What are some of these NBA players that like, I don't know, maybe like make comparisons between different era players and like what kind of teams you'd have to put around them. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Interesting.
That sounds good.
Yeah, Miko Spencer here. He says Green and Luka would fit. Green could facilitate the ball to shooters and cutters. Yeah, you know what? I was thinking more like LeBron. I was thinking more LeBron, Kyrie, and Luka would have a hard time fitting because they're so. Draymond Green is the kind of player that could probably fit with almost anybody because Draymond Green's content with scoring like 2 points, so I think he'd be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But all those other guys kind of need. All those other kind of guys need to get theirs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Miko Spencer. Hell yeah, debate this. Hell yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. Wow, you got my head spinning, Diego, because I never thought of that, but now it really does make sense because you're right. Because like think about it, like Luka is such a great player and Kyrie is so talented too, and then you look at that team and they can't win.
They can't win.
And a lot of and I think it's because. And look, we all loved Iverson, but other than 2001, how many years did Iverson average like 30 and we sucked? We won like 30 games or we missed the playoffs and a lot of because their styles
never had the talent around them.
Yeah, but I think partly it's his but
it's his own doing.
We always say that, Fuge, but don't you think part of it's their own fault?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Well, he said it before. You should have listened to Larry Brown instead of being pouting on the bench because Larry Brown seen something like, look, get on the bench, get your little second win, and then I'm going to put you out there. But Iverson said it himself. He wanted to be out there all minutes at all times. It doesn't work that way. And then as he got older, he realized, like, shit, Larry Brown was right. He could have saved my career and all this other stuff, But
if you saw the show you're touching on, everything but the chip, I mean, he admitted it. Yeah. He said he was just immature and just wanted to do it his way and didn't see it from Larry Brown's perspective.
Yeah.
Dave Arnold with a comment here. He says, hey, all, I was bummed about Bradley going to the Suns. I was hoping the Sixers were going to pick him up. I actually wasn't, Dave. I got to be honest. And it nothing to do about him being like he's a good player and everything. His contract. I just had a feeling. I don't think getting Bradley Beal was going to put us over the top. So I didn't want to be looking at him like making like $50 million 2 years from now and being like, shit, we have no other options of getting anybody.
Right.
Like, because you figure if we added Bradley Beal, that's like the last chance we can take with Embiid, and then basically at that point it's pretty much like, you know what, we almost have to trade Embiid and just start all over.
Exactly.
Absolutely. That's exactly what would happen, I think.
So
trade me.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Sixers, though, did you guys see that? A lot of reporters out there are saying, or remember how the what was it, about a month ago? You had the Keith Pompeys and everybody was saying, it looks like Harden's going to Houston. And we were, I think we all were kind of calling bullshit on some of that. It kind of looks like it's all coming around. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's like, it's looking more and more likely that Harden's really going to consider going back to Philly. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock, because Houston was never giving him a 4-year contract.
Keep on pace. Still thought fucking James Harden was dropping 60-point triple doubles. Dude always talks out of his ass. Keep on pace.
Oh man.
Dave Arnold, is this Harden rumors actually happening about Harden? I'd be at this point. I'll be shocked if Harden doesn't come back here. The only question to me, I guess, is how
what's the bargain?
Money.
Exactly. True. I'm okay with Harden coming back if the money makes sense. If Sixers can still go out and get key players to fit this team and win. If we're throwing the bag at Harden, that's stupid.
No, you're not going to win. You're going to be in the same shit show you were this year. You're right.
I feel like we need
and get the right players.
Another thing, we need Harden to be our Chris Paul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We need Harden to be our Chris Paul and B to be our best player, and him have us our and Maxey can't be our second best player. I love Maxey and all, but he's just he don't take over a game like that. We need another player, maybe like a Michael Porter Jr. player, someone who can play the wing, play the three, hit a three, play defense, getting 15, 25, 20 points a game. And then Harden just be the facilitator. Doc Rivers even said the beginning of the year when Harden was moving the ball around we were winning. Then he wanted to score more and things got challenging. Because that's when Harden dribbles the ball until 4 seconds left on the shot clock before he does stuff. Harden's got to be okay, in my opinion, for us to win a championship, playing a role like Chris Paul.
Yeah. No,
True.
I agree.
That's Miko's right.
Look at the Mavs when they beat the Heat. They had Dirk and Kidd and Old Marion and Jason Terry and Brown Brothers starting versus they have the 2011 team fit together. Yeah, that's a great point. And then Dave Yarnell asked, "How about Harrison Maxey for Dame?" Dame doesn't seem like he wants to come here, so I don't.
Would I do it? Absolutely, I would do it.
Yeah,
definitely do that. I just don't think Dame wants to come here.
Mm-hmm. It's all like you said. Keep Pompeii blowing smoke out your ass stall.
Yeah.
I just hate to get Maxey up, but.
Yeah, you broke it down, Diego, as far as the Sixers. See, I don't really feel like what James Harden gave them last year is good enough for the Sixers to win. I think the problem, the problem is that the Sixers, all these other teams have really good wing players, and the Sixers don't have any wing players, and that's why the Sixers don't win. Let's keep it real. Harden played like shit game 6 and 7, right? We all know that. But the bottom line is, if the Sixers had a legit wing player, they win game 6, beat Boston in 6, and we're not even talking about James Harden. In fact, we might even won the whole joint.
Right.
The thing of it is, he had a hell of a year during the regular season, but I don't want anybody on my team when it's crunch time, 6 and 7. I mean, it was just like a lackadaisical performance. It was lackluster. I don't want a guy. You can have all the goddamn talent in the world, but if you ain't going to show up and get to the next level, don't be here. Why even throw all that money at him? It's a joke. It's already.
I kind of agree. I agree.
I mean,
but our hands are tied.
The guy can't win nowhere. Yeah, exactly. But the guy just
mentality,
he's got a nice resume, but he don't have the hardware of the Rock. It's a joke. I mean, the guy's just he just don't care. He'd rather be in the goddamn strip club or whatever.
See, I agree with you to a point. I agree with you to a point, Fuge. But like I said though, and Harden's getting older, but I guess the problem is they're really in a bind because they don't really have much of an alternative. I mean, if you let Harden go, you got $12 million to go spend to replace him, and like I was saying, you could say what you want about Harden, but he led the league in assists and he averaged 20 points. I mean, I'm not a numbers guy, I'm more of an eye test guy, but there aren't a lot of guys that do that. The problem is I just don't know where you get that wing. Somehow Daryl Morey's got to get lucky and get a good enough wing.
It has to be with Tobias Harris going out.
It will
be.
That's the only way. The only way you get someone who can play small forward is in a Tobias Harris move. If not,
we're back to where we.
You're going to have the same thing's going to happen again. You're going to go to second round because Embiid's just so good he can't deny it, and you're going to lose.
Yep. You're not fixing the problem. Yeah.
Or you got to luck out like Miami did and take a chance and get a guy like a Cody Martin that could come in and catch fire for a couple weeks, and then you find a way to win that way. You know what I mean? That's not, and the odds of that happening are slim.
Yeah.
Especially if the Sixers don't find people like that. They ain't the Heat organization. They're not Pat Riley.
No, they're not. They don't have that eye for talent.
That's scouting,
like you said, and it's a shame. We do, but we're not on their level. And if we were, it'd be a different story. We wouldn't be talking about the second round exits and all this other bullshit. But
let's look at this question here. Miko spent thoughts on Trey Young. He is rumored to be out. What would you give up?
We don't have much. We couldn't put together a big enough package for him.
No, we couldn't.
But if we could, what would it be though? Think about it. I mean,
we don't have enough.
We don't have no picks. Maxie's never going to be like. That's not going to be an evening trade chip. They're not going to want Tobias Harris because you're trading Trey Young. You're trading a player that's been in the playoffs the last 3 years.
Good point,
I'll tell you
Dave.
what. I love Maxie, but I would, I love Maxie, but if I mean, we won't be able to get him. But if we could have Trey Young play,
I'd trade him that.
I would do that in a second.
Absolutely.
In a heartbeat.
The way he shoots that three, he's ice cold, man.
Dude, he hit that big three. Hit that big three in Boston last year, Game 6 or whatever game it was.
No,
He hit that huge three in Boston.
No, you're right. It was Game 6.
It was in Atlanta, though. I don't think it was in Boston, right?
No, it was in Boston. It was game 5. It was Game 5.
Game 5. All right, he hit that big three, and I'm like,
case may be, just like you said, he shot that three, and he looked right at him, and he goes,
you pair a guy who can hit that three with Joel Embiid, I think it's curtains.
"Oh damn!"
That's why I would do whatever to get up for Dame. I'd do whatever to get on Trey Young. A guy who can hit that three 40 feet away, where you have to step all the way up on him, and you can't really back up on Joel Embiid.
He's a hustler.
Then it'd be a huge problem.
He brings that game every
Yeah.
day.
And that brings up a good point, like you said, Joey. I think if Trey Young and like Miko said, if Trey Young leaves Atlanta because I don't think he likes the team, the atmosphere, maybe the coach, whatever. I think, man, sky's the limit. I mean, you're going to see lights out player, maybe even a better Trey Young.
Well, Trey Young's like a poor man Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? He got. It took Curry like 4 or 5 years, 6 years to be able to like, wow, that shot's insane. Trey Young's had that since he came in.
I know.
So how good is his shot going to be when he's 6 years into his career, 7 years into his career? I'm not saying he's going to be Steph Curry because Steph Curry's the greatest shooter ever, but almost equal.
How young he is too.
Dame Lillard.
Yeah, but Trey Young was doing it in college, just like you said, man. I mean,
I'm saying he's been doing. He
has it. It's not he has to work on it. No, he has that it factor.
We can dream. You know that.
He's your man. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but bottom line is, I don't think Atlanta. I mean, I know that's a rumor. I don't see Atlanta trading him. So
no chance.
Number one, I don't think they trade him. B, if they did trade him, Sixers don't got enough. So either way, he's not coming to Philly.
Right, no matter what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's an interesting. Miko Spencer says Draymond Green just tweeted he is declining his player option for a trade.
Well, we can't have Draymond Green on this team.
No, we can't.
No.
He wouldn't fit with us.
He would not fit anywhere. He already got PJ Tucker. There's nowhere for Draymond can't shoot a three, so he could never come here.
No. What's interesting though? Where it's actually kind of. Do you really think? See, I don't. Draymond is so like I can't imagine Draymond being anywhere else but the Warriors.
Me neither. I feel like he fits so good with Steph Curry. Running them pick and roll.
You don't see him with the Knicks. He fits that.
No,
not at all.
No, I don't see how he fits their team. I don't see how. I don't know. Dude, Draymond's such a poor offensive player that Klay Thompson and Steph Curry made him look a lot better than what he was and what he is. I can see Draymond Green being that type of player, leaves Golden State and is just completely trash somewhere else.
Oh, one of those guys gets the money and totally shits the bed. Yeah.
You know the only comparable place I could think of for Draymond is Atlanta.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's only like I could see Draymond playing in Atlanta, but the trade doesn't make any sense for Golden State because if I'm Golden State, I'm not giving up Draymond and his fit for like a John Collins and something else. Like I'd rather just keep Draymond.
How about this?
You know what I mean?
OKC? OKC with all those picks. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense.
I know it doesn't. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. If I'm Golden State, I'm just keeping Draymond, and I'm running it back with Steph and Clay, and going for one more. Or at that, I mean, there's an interesting one. All right, so just say Draymond leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Clay is a free agent in the next year or two. Does Golden State just I don't think they'll ever get rid of Steph because he's like
I'm never getting rid of Steph Curry.
He's Golden State for life.
I gotcha. So at that point, it might be one of them like how the Lakers were at the end, where they just kept Kobe, and then like they were just trying to rebuild around an old Kobe. Like I think it would be like the same type of scenario.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but no, that's interesting. Any other rumors you guys want to get into? I mean, with the draft, I mean, what's it? I mean, it's not really too much to talk about. I mean, I just heard that the Sixers might buy a second round pick or try to trade for a second round pick, which big deal. You know what I mean?
That don't even matter.
Yeah. So, all right. Any other thoughts before we get out of here? You guys have any thoughts on NBA draft? I mean, NHL draft is next week, so we'll get more into that. I think we're going to try to get a hockey person on with us next week to do a little Flyers preview. So any hockey fans out there, we'll get much more into hockey next week because it's a huge draft for the Flyers. I mean, having the 7th pick and the 22nd pick plus they might be TK could be on the move, Lawton possibly, Kevin Hayes, the Flyers are open for business. So we'll get into a lot of hockey talk next week.
Yep.
And then hopefully, by the time we're on here, hopefully the Phillies have had it worse, the 4-2 week, and actually make some ground up.
Definitely.
So Diego, when's your next? When's your next Union, John? When's your next?
Not until July.
Not until July. Okay.
I will have an article out on Wednesday though for the game Wednesday night against Orlando. So look for my article Thursday morning. It'll be out.
All right, cool. So any Union fans out there, make sure you check him out. And all right, guys. Well, I guess we'll get ready to get out of here. Let's hope for a good week by the Phillies, and then. Hey, who knows? Maybe Tobias Harris is a former Sixer by the next time we're on here.
That'd be nice.
True.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys.
All right, y'all. Talk to you.
All right, everybody. Have a good week.